Okay, so this is We the People News, alright? I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to give legal advice, especially on this video, okay? It's just my opinion only, alright? And it's going to be a learning video. We need to learn things, right? And how to stand on our rights. And if you've seen part one, then you understand how great this was. But let's define it a little bit more, okay? Mainly because we need to know, right? I'm also going to go ahead and stand on UCC 1-308, all rights reserved, okay? And here we go. Let's check this out and walk through this.
17th of August, 1:49 p.m. I've been stopped. I've served my notice of liability.
Alright, so you hear that one key word right there. Previous videos, you guys heard me talk about the notice of liability. In fact, if you go a year back and something like that, I actually gave a little bit more video of clarity of notice liability, okay? Now, this video is one of the people, so look him up. I don't know how to do this to get to his page, okay? And eventually, hopefully, I'll learn how to do that. I'm just finding time to do a bunch of stuff. Notice liability is a very, very important thing you can actually do. Okay, now he gave him a notice liability. Okay, now I'm assuming, I do not know for a fact, but because he got pulled over in a vehicle, what they call vehicle, right? An automobile, or whatever he wants to call it, right? That his notice liability is going to be under commerce, because anything that has to do with transportation is commerce. Okay, so I'm assuming the liability he's talking about is under commerce. Okay, and if it was me, it would be a notice of liability of commerce of trespass. Okay, that's what I would do under it. Okay, I'm not saying that's what he did. That's what I would do. All right. But it's very important, notice liability of trespass. You guys heard me speak of that, right? Government officials are not absolute on this, okay? And again, I'm going to tell you with first-hand knowledge of fact, I actually done very little notice of liability. What little I had done actually worked, okay? And the quick version is, how would I do this? All right. I go into Walmart, and the guy's kind of pressing on me a little bit for whatever reason, right? Well, I can speak it or give him a piece of paper, a notice of liability of trespass, right? Okay, if you don't leave me alone, you're going to be agreeing to my contract that if you keep going, you must pay me $5,000, okay? That is a notice of liability of trespass. Okay, now I'm created a contract. Okay, if that guy at Walmart comes press forward even more on me without my welcoming, well, now what I do is take that notice of trespass, notice of liability of trespass, to the courts. What I just did is actually opened up a private court. It is a private contract. Okay, people say there's no private court, but there is. Courts are open 24 hours a day. We just do not know how to access it. Okay, because they want to keep us dumbed down. Okay, but I'm a firm believer with him doing this and watching a couple of videos a couple of times. I may have to watch it this time and nitpick it a little bit more. But he's already gave notice of liability to maybe the head sheriff, to the judges, to the prosecutor, to let him know to leave him alone, or there's going to be a cost attached to this notice. Okay, because that means whatever happens at that point in time, he's in control. They had tacitly agreed to his contract, and he's going to come back and want to claim, make a claim. Okay, so I take it down to the courthouse, open a claim. I'm going to give him 3 opportunities to give me a remedy. All right. If not, then there's going to be a court. There's going to be a Judge Judy court. Okay. Judge is going to see it in my favor because I have a video of this and a piece of paper. Remember, it's always good to record. So even if I have a video, it still stands as true in fact because he agreed to the contract. Okay? And that guy is going to have to pay me $5,000 because he tacitly agreed to my contract by passing forward to me a trespass. Okay? That's the easiest way I can put it.
Waiting to come back. So.
Well, sir, I haven't written the ticket, I don't know how long, so obviously I'm not going to write you one. How do you mean that that's on file with the sheriff's office?
I went down there in person and videoed.
Okay, notice this. He took that notice of trespass. He, either one or two things happened. Don't have no video evidence, but one or two things happened. He either called the sheriff because he's a deputy and asked about this notice of liability, and he asked the prosecutor, okay, and say, hey, you know, I need some legal advice on this. This sounds pretty legit. And what is my cause of action here? I can tell you right away, that lawyer is going to say, leave that guy alone. All right, so whatever amount on this no liability he has is probably going to be significant. One reason, y'all, if you make it too small, they're going to have a tendency to keep growing. Okay, well, you must pay me $5,000. Well, no, when you're talking about any type of government officials, you want it high. Why? Because they do not want to take that chance of losing. So, you know, argument's sake, $50 million. I'm going to charge you $50 million if you pull me over. This is my notice of liability. And if they pull him over, well, what they did is actually tacitly agreed to his notice of liability of contract. Okay? That is very important. This notice of liability is a very powerful thing, and I'm surprised I really don't use it as much as I should. But this guy is well spoken and how it's played out and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, rambling on. Notice of liability, and what he did is that he ran through the superiors and find out about this notice of liability because it's the first time this officer probably ever seen one. So now this is a legal problem. And now he don't want to get in trouble, right? So, and I bet you 10-1 because they denied a ticket. My understanding from my hearing, it was like a 65 to 35 or something like that. He was speeding, right? And it was a big number. And he's going to get out of here without a ticket. Because they tacitly agreed to his contract.
Ordered it and have all I need to do is a FOIA request down there. Basically what it is we the people have rights. I'm not engaged in commerce. And with me not being engaged in commerce, there's no reason to be stopping me. I have rights in my private affairs. The Washington State Constitution also stipulates this. You held your hand up and swore an oath to defend the Washington State Constitution against foreign enemies, both domestic and foreign. So when you held your hand up, you didn't know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be interrupting me. It doesn't matter if I'm doing 5 or 10 over the limit because I'm one of the people, my brother. I'm not.
I mean, that is so well spoken. Now he's not mad or anything like that. He's talking to the officer nice and clear and calm. I'm sure he would in time. But he's not worried. He's not sweating it. Why? Because he has this notice of liability backing him up. All right, and if the time comes, he can stand on it. But right now, the notice of liability has got his back. and they don't really want to press forward on him. Why? Just like I told you a second ago, that press. All right, that tacit agreement. Everything's in play here. They cannot press on him because now it's conflict against the contract entered into commerce by tacit agreeing to it. And just by constitutional rights and all that. I don't know what his deal is. I would put the commerce thing on there because, being pulled over by the cops. And they believe that you're operating in commerce. So that's what I would do. He may use constitutions of state and federal to back up his notice of liability. I just don't know. Okay?
Not doing it. The definition of a violation is to cause harm, to damage another person, or sexually.
Did you hear that? Let me back that up again. Violation is to commit harm.
Limit because I'm one of the people, my brother. I'm not doing it. The definition of a violation is to cause harm, to damage another person, or sexually advance on you if it was unwanted. You know what I'm saying? That's the definition of a violation, to cause property damage. Out here when I'm driving.
There you guys go. All right. Remember that. Especially the ones that's going to press forward on not having a driver's license and tags and insurance and all that. Stand on it. You know what I mean? All right.
Basically, what you've done is I have the right to due process of law, and with you.
Have we or have we not been talking about the right to due process of law? This is what they keep violating, is the due process of law, right? Justice denied is justice delayed, or, violation of due process. And that's what they've been doing. Taking you to the jail first without seeing a magistrate. You going through all these things. It's a violation of due process altogether, people.
Pulling me over without going and getting an arrest warrant, that makes you liable for the first trespass. Just getting behind me. Then whenever you get behind me and stop me and get out and touch my vehicle, that's second trespass. When you're approaching me with your loaded weapon, that's a third trespass. You're at $1 million right there for your department.
You got to love it, people. I mean, he is calling this out perfect. Okay, rewind it to that point, right? First trespass, second trespass, third trespass. That's $1 million because of notice of liability. And what he's going to have to do is go to the courts and make his claim. They're going to have to give him some type of remedy. And there's going to be 3 things. Now, the courts and attorneys may say, hey, we're going to ignore this or whatever. But, yeah, when you ignore it, that's in silence acquiescence. And you're going to have to do a notice on them for silence acquiescence.
And yourself. This is on file. And the reason that I'm doing this is to teach.
Okay, he did say it was on file. So like I said, what he did was probably gone ahead and give it to a notice of his notice of liability to the judge, to the sheriff, and to the prosecutor in his town. I suggest you guys do this. Make several copies, okay? For the same thing. But if you do try to travel from like one state to another state, get direct line of what way you're going, and you send it to the other states and the towns that you may be going through, okay? In fact, I would probably put it into the Attorney General's office of, like, say, for me, New Mexico, and to the governor, and have them put a bulletin for all the sheriffs and cops through the town.
Other people, that's fine, you are too. Yeah, that's good. So, and the reason that I need to do this is because to teach my brothers and sisters their rights out here. They need to see this go on. They need.
Love it. To teach my brothers and sisters, my neighbors, their rights. I mean, geez, I do these videos for me to be able to kind of help me retain things. But I put it out here, and I'd love for you guys to kind of research with me, and maybe I can learn something from y'all, and y'all can learn something from me. It's a give and take, because we're brothers and sisters. We're one of the people. All right? I'm a man. I'm not one of the people. Individually, I'm just a man. But I can turn and stand on one of the people, right? I don't claim I'm one of the people. I just stand as one of the people. So when the officer violates you, they in fact are violating me, right? When they give you, take you of like a due process, that's a violation of we the people's rights, right? As men and women. Well, what they did affected me, okay? They hurt my brother. They hurt my sister out there. They inflicted harm. They changed a peaceful person into a victim. Love it.
Need to see you not give me a ticket so that they understand that they have their rights, that they too can own their rights and own their authority. We have our rights. We are over the police. We're the highest law enforcement. You're the highest law enforcement of the county. You instruct the FBI, the DEA, the ATF. I know my rights. I know what you guys are supposed to be.
Amazing. He is letting the sheriff that he knows where the sheriff stands. We're under this illusion that FBI and all these agencies are above the sheriffs, and they're not. It's because our sheriffs are stupid, ignorant, because they don't care to learn their jobs, people. And when they get this notice of liability not to know there is no excuses. Period, y'all. But yeah, FBI, when they come knock on your door, by gosh, they better have permission from the sheriff. When they come knocking at my door, you better make sure you got permission from my sheriff, because I'm gonna have that sheriff come over here and trespass you. And if you decide to press any further, I'm gonna have him escort you to jail if I have a good sheriff, which I don't, by the way, y'all. I don't like my sheriff.
Out here doing, and I know what you're not supposed to be out here doing. That's why every time I see one of you guys pull over another one of my people, I stop and I tell you guys every chance I get.
One of my people. Okay? There is no race involved in this. What you guys call race, okay? But for y'all's purposes, race. We're all the same, and he is standing with his brothers and sisters. We the people.
This is how we do it, sir. But I appreciate you and your time and the education.
Well, I understand all that. I appreciate what you're saying. But the problem that I have is, if we had no people,
I have liberty.
We're fixing to do cop explaining.
That's for commerce. That's for people. That's for a truck driver, a bus driver, a taxi driver. Those people that are engaged in commerce are supposed to be following those speed limits, not the people.
Okay, I understand that, but
Let's pause right there, y'all. It's very important. Also, you are no longer passengers sitting beside him. Okay? You are a family or guest. Passengers is someone that's paying him. So when you say you are passengers, you are telling the officer that he is, in fact, in commerce. So quit giving them magic powers they don't have. They're a family and guest. Never, 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 ever agree that you're a passenger, with or without a driver's license and a driver's seat.
I'm trying to make my point here.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So if we don't have speed limits, or speed limits for anybody that's not doing commerce, and people go through stop signs and they go through speed limit, or they go 50 miles an hour in a congested area and they have a crash, what happens then?
Well, then they've caused a violation, my good man. If I were to hit somebody, if I run.
They cause a violation, my good man, if you cause damage, if you committed a crime. Okay? But that's when he did it, not if he did it. You have not committed a crime until you committed the crime. They're not allowed to read the future.
Off the road and I take out your power pole, that's definition of violation. I'll be talking to somebody like you, paying my respectable ticket. Okay?
And I guess
I'll be paying my respectable ticket. I will be in honor, and I will suffer the consequences of my actions, basically. Some people go out there, well, if you kill someone, well, by gosh, you took responsibility to be going over the speed limit, okay? Well, you're going to have to take it all the way. Why? Because, in other words, you are going against the grain. So they're going to hold you accountable 100%. So if you kill somebody, say the maximum is 10 years, you're going to get 10 years. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay? So self-governed is not as without its consequence. Okay? You can make a plea and serve 2-3 years. Okay? However, due to you forcing your rights, they're going to fight back when they have a chance, and they're going to say, well, the state law says 10 years, so we're going to give you 10 years. Just saying. So be real careful about some of these things. You can get a speeded ticket at 65, 35 mile an hour. That was a little too fast, okay? Yes, he can get a ticket. There's no victim. However, if there is a victim, then he probably will be charged fully to the extent of the law.
this is one of my questions is that for you to go down the road, not engaging in commerce, and drive whatever speed limit you want,
That's our beautiful country, sir.
and there was an accident to occur,
Now you're getting on hypotheticals, things that didn't happen. But see, now that's...
Right? He's reading the future. Okay? Until there's a victim, there is no victim. There is no crime. Right? So he brought that up. Okay? Look, y'all. For public safety, we understand something, okay? However, giving up a right for public safety, you do not deserve either one. That's what the founding father said. You give up your right for a privilege, you do not deserve either one. Because once you give up for a privilege, give your right for a privilege, the government is going to keep taking and taking and taking. And what have you seen today? We've been lied, cheated, manipulated. This video plainly speaks it. How many generations thought they had to have a driver's license, and now with technology we find out we don't have to. We have Supreme Court's opinions about these things. It's been well documented that we can drive without a license and all that, and actually be in a right instead of a privilege, right? But be fully aware, when you stand on your rights, you got to govern yourself accordingly. And you got to be in honor all the time. Because you against the grain's going to be against you.
But that's where you're out of your jurisdiction, as well as you're a witness, right? Whenever you make your affidavit, you're a witness. You're a conflict of interest because you are a deputy and you're your own witness going after the people. Do you see the conflict of interest in that too? We can go all day on.
Right? This is what I've been saying. It's a conflict of interest. The whole system is designed conflict of interest from the officer all the way up. The attorney's conflict of interest, judge conflict of interest, cops of conflict of interest. All government officials are conflict of interest against you, and by us tacitly agreeing, we've been ignoring our due process, right? Again, we're talking about, even if this officer decides to take him to jail, he's to go see the magistrate right away, before jail. Y'all, you know what that's called? Due process. And if you go to the jail before seeing the magistrate, that is a violation of due process, people. Let's learn these things, stand on it, and grow.
this back and forth, but I really got to get to work.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
The reason I didn't write you because I like to, every time I make a contact, I like to try to get somebody I've never contacted before.
Right.
Give them a break.
Right.
There's no sense in scratching out thinking.
Okay.
Trying to get money out of everybody, so.
I understand. Well, even if you try to, they've already, go look me up, brother. They've already tried to, and I didn't pay it. And it's because of no contract.
That's up to you.
It's not up to me. It's up to your sheriff, number one.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not going to hold you up.
All right. I appreciate you. Have a good day, brother. And that is how we do that. Pulled me over for speeding. There he is.
Let's wind that back just a Okay. Now remember, the officer is directly behind him. He is speeding. Do I 100% agree with that? No. But does he have a right to do it? Yes. Okay? Again, he has a right, not a privilege. If anything shall happen, he's going to get full punishment of the law. Okay? However, if the speed limit is 70 miles an hour, y'all, I would go roughly around the speed limit just because I, per se, don't want to grab attention to me, and I don't want everybody else being in harm, right? If somebody jumps the road or whatever comes in my lane, I want to be able to be in a maintained level, right? Where I'm still under self-controlled. Just because I can run 120 miles an hour, I should not run 120 miles an hour because if anything shall happen, I want to be in full control. If I blow a tire or anything like that, it's easier at 70 than it is at 120, y'all. And you never know when you blow a tire. All right? But do you have the right to do it? Yes. If you kill 3 people in there, should you be brought up for murdering 3 people? Yes. Okay? You cause victims, and then you cause 3 victims. So do you think you probably should be spending a lifetime in prison? Yes. Why? Because you ran 120 miles an hour instead of 70. And you cannot really maintain control that is self-governed, y'all. Okay? Understand that. So there is a consequence. But that being said, if you had a driver's license, there's still privilege. If you killed somebody, 3 people with 120 miles an hour, they would probably do some type of plea for you and cut your sentence in half. So you may spend half your life in prison. Right? My age, I'll be spending the rest of my life in prison. Whether I have a driver's license or don't have a driver's license. So if I kill somebody out there and it's my fault, just saying. So be mindful and worried and be self-governed with or without a driver's license, y'all. Okay? Just saying, being self-governed is 100% almost guaranteed. Okay, let's go with 99% guaranteed. They're going to put the maximum on you because you decided to have rights and not privileges. DC People News. Till next time, y'all. Bye.